You can go days without riding, weeks without training, but not a single day without water. For your horse, that truth runs even deeper. Water is life. It's the invisible partner behind every stride, every breath, every heartbeat. Yet for something so essential, it's also the one thing most horse owners underestimate. We fuss over feed charts, supplements, vitamins, and saddle fit, but forget that all of it means nothing if the horse isn't properly hydrated. Imagine this, a hot summer afternoon. You've just finished a gentle ride. The horse walks back to the barn, sweat glistening, nostrils wide. You offer water, but they only take a few sips and you think that's fine. But deep inside, their muscles are craving more, their blood is thicker. Their digestive system is slowing. The body is working overtime just to cool itself. This is where it begins, the silent slide toward dehydration. You don't see it. You don't feel it, but your horse does. Today, we'll explore one of the most overlooked, underestimated, yet vital aspects of horse care: water. Not just how much they drink, but why it matters, how it changes, and what your horse is silently telling you with every sip or lack of one. Because once you truly understand how water shapes your horse's health, you'll never look at a bucket the same way again. Let's start inside. A horse's body is about 70% water. That means every cell, every organ, every function, from heartbeat to digestion to muscle contraction, relies on it. Water isn't just fuel. It's the medium life flows through. It cushions the joints, regulates temperature, transports nutrients, and flushes waste. It's the unseen hero of movement. When your horse gallops, their muscles generate heat, a lot of it. Sweat cools them down, but sweat also drains vital fluids and minerals. For every liter of sweat lost, they lose salts, electrolytes, and the delicate balance that keeps the heart beating steady. When your horse chews hay, saliva is mostly water, essential for softening and digesting. Without enough, feed moves too slowly through the gut, raising the risk of impaction colic. Even brain function, focus, calmness, learning depends on hydration. Dehydrated horses are more irritable, more anxious, less willing to engage. So water doesn't just affect health, it affects behavior. A calm, steady horse often begins with a well-hydrated one. Here's where most people miss it. Horses rarely show obvious thirst. They won't stand by an empty bucket, begging for a refill. They adapt quietly until their body can't keep up. Early dehydration hides behind subtle cues: dry or tacky gums instead of moist ones, dull eyes or slight fatigue. Skin that, when pinched, takes a second too long to flatten. A horse that seems off, not lame, not sick, just distant. These are whispers from the body saying, "I'm running low." And if ignored, those whispers become alarms. Reduced saliva leads to poor chewing. Poor chewing leads to gut slowdown. Gut slowdown leads to colic. It's a domino effect, and all of it starts with something as simple as water. Dehydration doesn't always come from heat or work. Cold weather can be just as dangerous. In winter, many horses drink less because the water's cold or slightly frozen. The result? Winter colic, one of the most preventable problems of all. So the danger isn't always about lack of water, it's about the horse's willingness to drink it. So how much water does your horse actually need? For the average horse, around 1,000 pounds, it's roughly 5 to 10 gallons a day. But that's just the baseline. When it's hot, when they're working, lactating, or eating dry hay, that number can double. Think of it like this: every flake of hay adds a little more demand for water. Every mile of a trail ride adds more sweat. Every hour in the sun drains reserves your horse must replace. And it's not just how much, it's how often. Horses evolve to drink small amounts frequently, just like they graze. When we confine them to stalls and offer water twice a day, we disrupt that natural rhythm. The body doesn't want gulps, it wants a steady flow. And the digestive system, especially the large intestine, depends on that rhythm to keep everything soft, moving, and balanced. Imagine a sponge. When it's damp, it's flexible. When it's dry, it cracks. That's your horse's gut on dehydration. Have you ever traveled with your horse only to find they won't touch water at the new place? It's not stubbornness, it's instinct. Horses are incredibly sensitive to smell and taste. Even small differences in mineral content, chlorine, or temperature can make unfamiliar water seem unsafe. In the wild, a horse's survival depends on avoiding contaminated sources. That same instinct still lives inside them. That's why some horses drink poorly on the road, at shows, or after moving barns. The water tastes different and the brain says, "Wait, something's not right." You can help by bringing water from home when traveling, or by flavoring it slightly with something familiar. A splash of apple juice, a pinch of salt, or even a handful of their usual feed stirred in. Clean buckets matter too. A hint of old algae or soap residue can make the difference between a thirsty horse and a dehydrated one. Remember, to a horse, water isn't just wet, it's information. One of the scariest effects of dehydration is how fast it leads to other problems. When a horse's body loses water, blood volume drops. That means less oxygen reaching muscles, slower recovery, and faster fatigue. In hot weather, they can't sweat effectively, and without sweating, they can't cool down. That's when heat exhaustion and even heat stroke can appear. Inside the gut, dehydration thickens digestive contents, creating blockages that lead to impaction colic, painful, dangerous, and entirely preventable. And then there's the myth, the old barn saying, "Never let a hot horse drink." It's one of the most persistent and misunderstood ideas in horsemanship. Here's the truth. Letting a hot, sweaty horse drink small, gradual sips of cool water is completely safe and necessary. The danger only comes when they gulp down gallons too fast. But in normal, calm conditions, denying water after work can make recovery worse. Hydration doesn't stop after exercise, that's when it matters most. Hydration becomes especially critical when horses travel. Transport stress, new environments, and altered routines all reduce their willingness to drink. Before traveling, offer extra water and salt for a few days. During transport, stop regularly and allow rest and rehydration. If you notice dry manure, darker urine, or lethargy, these are early dehydration warnings. Encourage drinking with familiar-tasting water, soaked feeds, or electrolyte paste if needed. And remember, dehydration can start long before obvious symptoms appear. Prevention always beats treatment. As a horse owner, one of your greatest tools is not money, not supplements, but awareness. Notice how your horse drinks. When, where, how much? Does the bucket stay full too long? Do they prefer one side of the trough? Do they stop drinking after the first sip? These tiny habits reveal so much about comfort, stress, and health. A horse that drinks deeply is a horse that feels safe. A horse that hesitates might be telling you something's off in the water or in their mind. Never dismiss behavior around water as trivial. It's communication. Every sip is a conversation between body and environment and between horse and human. Let's walk through the year. Summer. Sweat, heat, travel, training, the hydration demands are obvious. Salt and shade are your best allies. Keep buckets clean, refill often, and offer cool, not ice-cold, water. Autumn. Temperatures drop, but don't be fooled. Horses often drink less while still sweating under early cool weather rides. Maintain salt intake. Winter. The silent danger season. Cold water discourages drinking, and frozen buckets become barriers. Warm the water slightly if you can. Offer soaked hay or mash. Keep an eye on manure. Dry, hard droppings are the first sign of dehydration. Spring. Fresh grass brings water-rich feed, but also rapid changes in diet. Transition slowly to avoid digestive upset. Hydration isn't a summer problem, it's a year-round responsibility. Not all water is created equal. Mineral balance, bacteria, algae, even pH can affect your horse's health and appetite for drinking. If your horse suddenly refuses water, test it. A simple bucket left in the sun can grow invisible bacteria that alter taste. Automatic drinkers can develop biofilm inside pipes, unseen but powerful enough to repel a horse's nose. Fresh, clean, odorless water encourages drinking. And replacing water frequently, not just topping it off, keeps it oxygenated and appealing. Even location matters. A bucket near a feed bin may collect dust or bits of hay that change flavor. Water care is more than filling, it's maintaining. Hydration isn't just comfort, it's performance. A dehydrated horse tires faster, sweats less efficiently, and recovers more slowly. Even a 2% loss in body water can reduce endurance and focus. Imagine a marathon runner in heat with no water breaks. That's what many horses experience unknowingly. In training, proper hydration shortens recovery time and improves attitude. After competition, rehydration aids muscle repair and reduces stiffness. A horse that drinks well before and after work performs better, feels better, and stays sound longer. It's that simple and that profound. At the end of the day, water is the great equalizer. It doesn't matter the breed, discipline, or budget, every horse needs it every day. The best owners aren't the ones with the fanciest tack. They're the ones who check the buckets twice. They notice the details. The color of the water, the sound of a satisfied drink, the rhythm of a healthy life. So, next time you walk past your horse's trough, pause for a second. Look closer. Listen. That reflection staring back at you isn't just your horse, it's the bond between care and life itself. Because when we understand water, we understand the horse. And when we give them what they need most, safety, hydration, presence, they give us what we need most in return. Trust. Here at HorseSense, we believe that knowledge is kindness, and that the smallest insights can change how we see the world. So keep watching, keep learning, and next time you fill that bucket, remember you're not just offering water. You're offering balance, health, and the quiet miracle of life itself. Don't forget to subscribe and like the video to help share the truth about horses, because awareness changes everything. Until next time, stay curious, stay kind, and always listen to the horse.